Welcome back to Cityline. With me are two individuals who, we caught hanging out in the Cityline Comfort Cafe, and we wooed them over to the comfy couch because they're new to this couch. Ladies and gentlemen, I have on the couch with me the brand new executive director and the brand new artistic director from Tacoma Refugee Choir. So please join me in saying hello to Orlando G. Morales. What's the G?
Gonzalo.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Ooh, I
Boy,
like that.
how many musical diphthongs does that have in it?
It's two Shakespeare names.
See, you know this. You were the artistic director for our beloved Tacoma Refugee Choir. Welcome to Cityline.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and you brought with you Mr. J. Woody Lotz. Jay, you don't answer to. You are the executive director of Tacoma Refugee Choir. Welcome, Mr. Woody Lotz, who, okay, ready? For those of us who have lived in Tacoma forever, you are a dead ringer for Tom Llewellyn in his 30s. Not Tom Llewellyn, Lance Kagi from Beautiful Angel.
You're welcome, Tacoma.
There we
You're
go,
welcome.
see? And Lance is going, great, Amanda, thanks a lot. The two of you, wow, so not that we don't have Miss Erin anymore, because Miss Erin Gwinnett, who started Tacoma Refugee Choir, she has retired, but her love and her light will always be here. Orlando, tell us about your background. How did you find the Refugee Choir?
Oh my, okay. So I actually found the Tacoma Refugee Choir through a shared donor. The organization that I worked for previously, which is the Fifth Avenue Theater, had a donor in common with Tacoma Refugee Choir.
Wow.
So I was curious. I'd never heard of it before. Came down to rehearsal. Immediately, they looped me into playing the piano. I'm a piano player.
Uh-oh.
Right? And yeah, so I just fell in love with the vibe, the atmosphere, the kids running around, the amazing music from around the world. And I just stayed in my mind. And so, you know, when things started feeling like I needed a transition, like a new kind of breath or some kind of wind in my sails, I remember the Refugee Choir. And around that time, they posted a job, and I was like, I think this is where my next step is.
This is where I get off.
Yeah.
That's my next stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And I'm so happy to be here.
Here you are.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Mr. Woody,
Yeah.
how did you come across the brilliance of Tacoma Refugee Choir that would make you want to be the executive director?
You know, interestingly enough, I found it on LinkedIn from a post from the founder, Erin Gwinnett. She was posting that she was leaving, and it was through a common connection that we had. And I read the post, and I was previously the executive director of a performing arts center in Wenatchee, Washington. And I was currently at the time the development director for the Auburn Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
And it just kind of connected with all their values, you know, the values that we have of love, authentication, interdependence, humility, you know, that kind of is who I am as a person. And so when you can balance those things with your professional and personal life, it makes it very exciting. And so I went through pretty long interview process and ended up getting a position. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Both of you. And I do have to point out, it takes two men to replace just one Erin. But
yes, it does.
That's the
yes, it
film.
does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about Orlando. First off, your name. God, your name is just amazing. Are all of your members refugees? Let's get a little refresher here.
Sure. So we are not an entirely refugee choir or people who would classify as refugees, because there's a really special definition around there. But we all are folks who are passionate about advocating for the refugee experience and for promoting welcoming in Tacoma. So you don't have to be a refugee to join the choir, but you have to be passionate about those things and also about cultural, musical traditions from around the world that help us understand each other and build community.
Absolutely. Those differences, absolutely. So, Woody, how long has Tacoma Refugee Choir existed in Tacoma with Erin?
8.5 years.
Okay, you got a good foundation.
Yeah, so there is a very great foundation. It's a very strong organization. You know, we have people from 18 different countries currently in our choir, you know, and we're actually working on a song, Orlando. I shouldn't say we, I don't sing, I just sit there and, you know, make sure to take rehearsal notes and all of that stuff as part of my job. But we're working on a song in Swahili right now, which is really interesting because it creates so many different dynamics and it's so fun. And so having that history and tearing down cultural barriers and how we as an organization approach music and art is entirely different than a lot of other places.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a strong sense of curiosity is what the Tacoma Refugee Choir teaches you as opposed to judgment. Orlando, last year there was a pilot residency program with Tacoma Public Schools. Is that an ongoing initiative still?
It is still ongoing.
Good.
We were really excited that teachers were like, we want to do it again. We also had a national organization, Course America, put some support behind it as well so that we can bring in culture bearers, bring them into choir classrooms at this point, but we are interested in branching into other not just performing arts classrooms too who are interested. But yes, so we are bringing folks from our choir who have traditions from outside the US into classrooms, meeting students. And so that's the core of our program. But we're also finding that like our members are like, hey, do they also have concerts that we can go to?
There
just
we
choir
go.
concerts.
Yes.
So that has been like a really nice kind of thing that's happening on the side, but it's really important because we're finding that there aren't as big audiences as we might want at these
Right.
performing arts concerts. So if I can say anything, go out and go to a choir concert, go
Absolutely.
support some of our Tacoma Public School students. And their
Reignite
singing.
your love of choir. Choir is big. Choir is community. So speaking of community, Woody, when's the next concert?
So the next concert is January 25th. It'll be
Okay.
a rally for peace on earth, and it'll be great. We'll have public speakers and amazing different types of things and all kinds of different music. But we actually have a couple events coming up as well here next week, which is really exciting. But our next concert is January 25th
Okay.
at Lincoln High School.
Oh, there we go. And love Lincoln High School. So let's talk about, Orlando, those events that Woody talked about that are coming up at Tacoma Public Library, the Moore branch. What do we need to know about that event if we want to partake?
So this is next Wednesday, December 18th at the Moore branch of the Public Library, as you said, and that starts at 6:15. It is the first in our series this year of workshops, singing music workshops that celebrate musical traditions from across the world, but that are practiced here in Tacoma.
Oh,
right. So it's a way
right.
of reflecting the community back to itself and celebrating. The first one is a workshop on Filipino music led by
Yes.
Roger Rigor, who is kind of a disco star in the
Yes.
Philippines and now is an advocate for traditional Filipino music. So really excited to have that happening. Everybody's welcome. Again, just a curiosity about different cultures is what we ask. So yeah, come join us next week, December 18th.
I love that. So what I see is a pattern here that happens with Tacoma Refugee Choir, and it's a beautiful pattern. And that is that when people attend a concert, often it ignites their curiosity and their interest to either know more about the Refugee Choir or be in the Refugee Choir. So Orlando, you've got this event coming up on Wednesday. When people walk up to you afterwards and say, I got to be a part of this, I got to be singing with these people, is there room? Are you actively recruiting new members?
We are always in a welcoming mode. We have some recruiting drives, every once in a while of the year, but if you're interested, come find us, come talk to us, reach out to us. And we have a little membership application just so we have your contact info and see where you're coming from. But in terms of your artistic background, but open to anyone. You don't even need singing experience, but get in touch with us. Yeah, we want to meet you.
I love that. No singing experience required. Last 30 seconds, Woody, who do we need to thank?
Well, first and foremost, you want to thank our board members, right? There are a
Yes.
number of people always forget your board members are your number one volunteers. So the people who are the most passionate about what we do, they live and breathe our mission in their workplace, in their environments, and what they do for a living. And then, also we want to thank our members of our choir who bring their love and compassion for one another each week. And we'd also like to thank Tacoma Creates.
Yes.
They're a huge sponsor of ours. Without that, it's almost impossible for the work that we do or any other arts organization. So, those are three that we really want to thank. And I also like to thank this guy because he does amazing work. And you can see him in the room.
He wants to thank you. Well, I want to thank you both for all the goodness that you are continuing on with at Tacoma Refugee Choir, and I want you back on the couch sooner than later.
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, ma'am. Over in the Cityline Comfort Cafe, we're serving up peanut butter and jelly, also known as Morris and Gerard of Tacoma Concert Band. Then we're going to move them to the couch. We'll be right back after this quick break.